Okay, so now that we have a good handle on mindsets, I want to turn more directly towards writing. So as we go through this process, try to develop a growth mindset toward your writing, and remember with practice, everyone can write better and more clearly. And that's good because writing is important for a few reasons. First, much of your work here at Empire State College will be in written format. It's important that you can express yourself clearly and concisely to ensure success in your courses. Also, by learning how to write more clearly, you actually think more clearly and can literally amplify your intelligence. And finally, people who write are powerful. In education, business, management, science and technology, if you are a clear and persuasive writer, you will influence people with your writing. The better you are at writing, the more effective and successful you will be in whatever field you go into. Michael Covington, in a presentation he did on writing in 2005, talks about writing not just as a communication tool, but as a way to amplify your intelligence. His central thesis or claim is that writing, thinking, and learning are all related. Writing clearly leads to thinking clearly. In other words, if you can't express something in your writing in a clear way, you probably don't have a firm grasp of it in your mind. One of the other points Covington makes about writing is that there are a lot of misconceptions about writing that can hold us back from being good writers. One misconception he points out about writing is that often people think writing is mostly about poetry and fiction. I would add to this that often people think that academic writing has to be wordy, complex, or convoluted, kind of like literature or poetry. According to Covington, this is kind of like saying that exercise is mainly about ballet dancing, which clearly isn't true. Another misconception that Covington talks about is the idea that writers are people who have memorized giant books of grammar. What he points out is that grammar is not the problem. We are exposed to huge amounts of good grammar every day. This is what makes reading so important. The more you read good writing, whether it's a news article on the web or a magazine article, the more you internalize and pick up these rules. If you know what you're trying to say, 99% of the time you'll say it grammatically. Another thing that's helpful is to think about writing as an exercise in developing your own character. In other words, you want to think about writing in a way that makes it easy for your reader to understand what you are saying, and not writing in a way that's easy for you. So you are always thinking about the best way to write so that your reader will understand what you're writing. So I want you to take a few minutes this week and think about your ideas and beliefs about college writing. Many people believe that college writing has to be perfect, that it has to prove that they are intelligent. Like I said earlier, many writers when they start out writing for college think that they have to use big words and complex sentences as a way to show that they are intelligent. This can often lead to procrastination because if you have to write the perfect paper, sentence, paragraph, or essay, it can actually block you from starting writing because it's practically impossible to write a perfect first draft. Nobody, not even best-selling authors, do this. Because we are all imperfect writers, this makes the most important part of writing the revision phase, where we go back and carefully read our own writing. When we read our own writing, we catch our own mistakes, and we find words, sentences, or maybe even whole paragraphs that we don't like. Maybe we use the wrong words, or maybe we put the words in the wrong order, or maybe we realize the sentence just doesn't make sense or is confusing. This is our chance to fix that. When we revise, we have a chance to change the things we don't like and to make things that are unclear more clear. That's why having a growth mindset about our writing is so important. A growth mindset is all about realizing that we require feedback. That's how we learn, by getting feedback from ourselves and from others. When we pay attention to that feedback and incorporate it into our work, we become better writers and better learners. The most important thing to remember is that writing is a process. First drafts always need revision. So it's really important that we read our own work and we revise it, and it's also really important that we get feedback from others, whether it's a friend, a family member, a writing coach, a tutor, or an instructor. One of the most important moments in my own writing was when I gave myself permission to write bad first drafts. I also gave up on the idea that my writing had to be complex and wordy. I realized that this is usually the opposite of what our readers and our professors want. So in general, our readers and professors want clear, concise writing, not needlessly complex and wordy writing. These two insights, that writing is always imperfect and that good writing should be direct, clear, and concise, freed me up as a writer and improved my writing more than anything else. Take a moment and think about what you believe about writing. Have those beliefs helped you or hurt you in your writing? Use this as a subject for your writing journal and write at least one typed page about this. Also, for your journal entry, I want you to include insights and ideas from this week's reading assignments: Shitty First Drafts by Anne Lamott, and slides 1 through 14 of Michael Covington's presentation, How to Write More Clearly, Think More Clearly, and Learn Complex Material More Easily.